Good morning to all. So in the last class we discussed about the internet and how to connect to the internet and also the internet access services. And today we have the different types of internet services, and we already discussed about the HTML, which is the first category of this internet services, and second one is the World Wide Web. So the World Wide Web or the www dot, it is the huge collection of interconnected websites, and this was introduced in 1989, and it includes billions of files stored of tens of thousands of computers, which means the web servers all over the world, and this file represent the text documents, pictures, video, sounds, animations, interactive environments, and just about any other kind of information. So what unites these files is a system that allows the computers to link one file to another and transmit them across the internet, and this concept was originally called the hypertext. So basically the World Wide Web also uses this hypertext, the form of this hypertext, which means it just unites all these kinds of websites to a common platform, and then it will link to one file to another, which means when one website to another website, and transmit them across the internet. So this is basically a kind of adaptation of this hypertext form in order to access all these kinds of websites with the help of this internet. So basically this concept was originally called the hypertext by its inventor, who is Theodore Nelson, and was adapted for the internet by Tim Berners-Lee. So basically the inventors, which means the Theodore Nelson and also the Tim Berners-Lee, they created this kind of adaptation in which the forms of this hypertext and also how to combine all these kinds of websites to a common platform with the help of this internet, and how we can link between these websites to a kind of this internet accessibility. So this is basically done by this kind of inventors. They are Theodore Nelson, and then it was combined, adapted by Tim Berners-Lee. And then the incorporation of this World Wide Web to the internet has accelerated the growth of the internet by giving it easy to use and point and click, also the graphical interface. So these are the major important aspects regarding the World Wide Web. The first one is regarding point to easy to use, and also the point and click. So easy to use means we can access all these kinds of websites with the help of this World Wide Web. It is a forms of this kind, a combination of these kinds of lots of websites, billions of websites, and also it is very easy to use, as well as we can with the help of this some kinds of point and click, which means we can access this website with a single click or double click by accessing all these kinds of websites and the graphical interface. So this is one thing that it attracts the attention of these users who use the internet, in which the graphical interface of these websites. So these are the major points regarding the growth of this World Wide Web via the internet interface. And users are attracted to the www dot because it is interactive, easy to use, and because it combines the graphics, text, sound, and animation into a rich communication medium. So this is the basic, or this is the success behind the World Wide Web, in which the first one is it is easy to use. Second one is its graphical interface, in which it attracts all the users in order to use in a very good manner. So these are the major important thing, and also this World Wide Web is regarded as a kind of communication medium. So this is just an introduction for the World Wide Web. Then this World Wide Web is a huge collection of websites, and the web presents the information as a series of documents, often referred to as a web pages, that are prepared using the hypertext markup language, which is the HTML. So we already discussed about the HTML in the last class. So HTML means the language which is used to create these kinds of websites. So here the World Wide Web is a huge collection of websites, and this web presents the information of a series of documents, often referred to as a web pages, that are prepared with the help of this HTML. So HTML is the basis of this to create these kinds of websites, and using the HTML, the author of the document can specially code the sections of the document to point to other information sources, and these specially coded sections are referred to as a hypertext links, and users viewing this website can select the hypertext link and retrieve or connect to the information resource that the link points to, and also the hypertext links can lead to other documents, pictures, videos, sounds, animation and interactive environments. So basically this World Wide Web is a kind of attribute to the websites or this collection of websites in which it gives all these kinds of necessary attracting kinds of this graphical interface to all these kinds of websites. So basically HTML helps to create the websites, and the World Wide Web helps to share, to unite all these kinds of websites to a common platform in which we can access all these kinds of websites with the help of this internet. So this is regarding the important aspect regarding the World Wide Web, in which how it works, what are the important factors behind it. So basically HTML and World Wide Web both are interconnected to a common platform in order to make up these kinds of websites. So the first point regarding the World Wide Web was the definition and in the introduction for the World Wide Web, which means it is a huge collection of the interconnected websites, and also it was introduced in 1989. And regarding the inventors, we have two major the inventors regarding the World Wide Web. They are Theodore Nelson and also Tim Berners-Lee. So they just introduced these kinds of websites or these kinds of World Wide Web concept, and basically it is based on the hypertext formation. And the first point regarding the World Wide Web was it is a huge collection of websites, and it is just like a kind of document, collection of documents, different types of documents combined and to a common platform, which is the internet itself, and it uses these kinds of graphical interfaces, different types of these graphical settings in order to attract the users who use these kinds of websites. The second point regarding the World Wide Web is that a web page is a single unit of information. So each kind of these websites, it gives a specific kind of information. So with the help of this kind of World Wide Web, we can call a web page as a document that is available with the help of this World Wide Web. So the web pages comes in many different varieties. In their simplest form, they contain the static information, and on the other extreme are pages which are highly colorful, contain animation, sound and interactive elements. So basically the web page provides a decent amount of this information with the help of these kinds of different types of website, which means, for example, if we focus on the topic the Wikipedia, it is a kind of encyclopedia, and we can access as much of information with the help of this Wikipedia. So basically each kind of this web page, they give a kind of information to us while we referring to that. And then a web presentation consists of one or more web pages linked together in a meaningful way, which as a whole describes a body of information or creates an overall consistent effect. And each web presentation is stored on a website, which is the actual machine, and on the web that stores the web presentation. So there is also another kind of this information regarding the web page, in which the web presentation, it is just a combination of different kinds of these web links together, and we can access these kinds of web links to a common platform. For example, these kinds of hyperlinks, we will be redirected to the another website from a website in which we can access as much information from different kinds of websites. So that's regarding the second point of this World Wide Web, in which we can access as much of information from each kind of these websites. So the third point is regarding the working principle, or how it works on the basis of this internet platform, in which the World Wide Web has client or this server architecture. So basically the World Wide Web, which works on the principle of this servers, different types of servers or clients, which means we can access all these kinds of websites with the help of these different types of servers. So according to the server, the web page may load quickly, and also if the web page may load takes so much of time, which means the server may be break down. For example, if we cannot access some kinds of websites, it takes a long time to loading, which means that the server may be failures or the server may be down. So it is basically the technical failure of this kinds of website, not the failure of this kinds of World Wide Web. So this means that a client program running on your computer or your web browser requests the information from a server program running on another computer somewhere on the internet, and to browse the web you need a client computer. So with the help of a computer or any kind of this mobile devices, we can access the internet to a web browser. So with the help of this web browser, what takes place with the help of this web browser is that we just type or we just copy and paste these kinds of web links, and we refer to that web links, which means the websites, and we get the information. So the server is just like the interconnecting all these kinds of things, in which it just interconnects the web pages and the web browsers, how we can access these websites. So basically without server we cannot access any kind of these websites. So that's regarding the third point of this World Wide Web. And also, to browse the web you need a client computer, and there are two basic requirements for the machine, which means it must have a connection to the internet and also must be capable of running a web browser program. So in order to open a certain amount of this or a specific website, we need a internet connection to the computer first. Secondly, we need a web browser to access that website. So this is the third important point regarding the World Wide Web. So the first one was regarding the World Wide Web, which is the huge collection of websites. Second one was regarding the this World Wide Web. It is a single unit of information. And third one is regarding the working principle, how it works. So basically it works on the basis of these servers, different types of servers, in order to access the websites. Then the fourth point is regarding these kinds of content provider for the sites. So on the content provider side of things, you need a server computer, and this machine has requirements similar to those of the client computer. It must be connected to the internet and must be able to run a web server program. And also a web server program is often called as the HTTPD for Hypertext Transfer Protocol daemon, and the daemon is a computer term for the program that runs unseen in the background. So this means that the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, along with that there is a kind of term which is daemon, which means the daemon means it is a computer term for a program that runs which is unseen in the background. So we cannot access that kind of programs in our computer, but without that we cannot access this website. So regarding the fourth point, which is the content provider side of things, we need a kind of server computer, and also that machine, that maybe the computer itself, it requires a kind of internet connectivity, a better internet connectivity, and also must be able to run this web server program. So the web server program is often called as the Hypertext Transfer Protocol daemon. And again, the working of this kinds of websites is that a browser's request for information takes the form of a URL, which is the Uniform Resource Locator, which is also referred to as a page address or location. So this, with the help of this URL, the web browsers generally display the URL of this web page currently being viewed near to the top of the window. So for example, after the URL, the example for the URL may be like this, which is the HTTP, then this kinds of slash, and after that the www, which is the short form for the World Wide Web, and then the websites. So this is the general form for the websites, and we can access these kinds of website with the help of this URL. So we have different types of terms which is related to the website itself. So the first one was regarding the World Wide Web itself. Second one was regarding the HTML, which is the layout or which is the core of this website in order to create a website. And the third one was regarding the HTTPD, which means the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, along with the daemon, which means it is a program which is related to the web server program, which runs in background and which is unseen in its nature. So we cannot access that software particularly, but without running that software, we cannot access any kinds of these websites. Then so the URL also, the Uniform Resource Locator, which also locates, it also just all these kinds of websites, it just locates these websites to a specific area in which in the address bar of this web browsers, we need to type this web address and we can access that website by entering to that website. And the one thing that we should focus on is that the URL or that link should be correct, and if it is not correct, we cannot access that website. So that's regarding the browsers the point of view in which how these websites run in the computer. So without the HTTPS, there is no kind of the security for the website. So HTTP is a kind of important aspect regarding the website in which it makes the website more secure. And also the browser client types an URL down to its component parts, the protocol address, path name and file name. So the URL can be divided into different categories. So the first one is the protocol, second one is the address, and third one is the path name, and the last one is the file name. So if we focus this website, we can access that these kinds of order. The first one is the protocol of that website, second one is the address of that website, third one is the path name, and finally the file name that we have to access. So this is the kind of this web address or the URL address of the website, the order of this URL address. And once the server realizes that a request is coming through, it likewise checks the URL for the connection protocol. So which means that URL just find out all these kinds of websites to a common platform, and it just combines these websites, and by entering the URL correctly in the web browsers, we can open a website properly without any failure. And also it takes the path name and file name that it has been given, finds them on its hard drive, and sends the data off to the browser using the correct protocol. And then it is the browser's turn again. This time it gathers, interprets, and probably displays the data it has been received. The web pages may be retrieved from the local computer or from a remote web server, and the web server may restrict the access only to a private network, example for a corporate intranet, or it may publish pages onto the World Wide Web. And the web pages are requested and served from the web servers using the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And the web pages may consist of files of static text stored within the web server's files system, which is the static web pages, or the web servers may construct the HTML for each web page when it is requested by a browser, which is the dynamic web pages. And also the client side scripting can make web pages more responsive to user input once in the client browser. So regarding the World Wide Web, we have 4 important points that we should focus on. So the first one is regarding the definition of this World Wide Web. Second one is regarding the major components or major aspects regarding the World Wide Web, which means the World Wide Web is a huge collection of websites. Second one was regarding the World Wide Web, the web page. Every web page is a single unit of information. So second point is that a web page is a single unit of information. So the second point regarding the World Wide Web is that a web page is a single unit of information. So each web page gives us a kind of information, any kinds of these updates with the help of these websites. Third one was regarding the working of this World Wide Web, how it works. So it is basically based on the client or the servers, web servers, in order to access all these kinds of websites. And then the fourth one was regarding the working principle, how it works, the website, how we can access the websites. So basically these are the important points regarding the World Wide Web. And now we have the third topic of this internet services, which is the web browsers. So the first one was regarding the HTML, second one was regarding the World Wide Web, and third one is regarding the web browsers. So regarding the web browsers, a web browser is a kind of software that helps to access the websites, which means that we can define the web browser as it is a software application for retrieving, presenting, and also for transversing the information resources on the World Wide Web. And an information resource is identified by a uniform resource identifier, which is the URI, and maybe a web page or image, video, or any other piece of this content. The hyperlinks present in resources enable the users to easily navigate their browsers to the related resources. And also regarding the primary purpose of this web browsers is that it is to bring the information resources to the user. So basically it helps to bring all these kinds of websites to the user. So a user can get all these kinds of information with the help of a web browser. Then this process begins when the user inputs a uniform resource identifier, which is the URI, for the example the wikipedia.org into the browser. And also the prefix of the URI determines how the URI will be interpreted, and the most commonly used kind of the URI stands with the HTTP. So the URI starts with the HTTP, which is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it identifies a resource to be retrieved over the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is the HTTP itself. And many browsers also support a variety of other prefixes. So basically HTTP is one of the commonly used kind of prefix for the web browsers. And also in the case of HTTP or HTTPS and file and others, once the resource has been retrieved, the web browser will display it. And also the HTML is passed to the browser's layout engine to be transformed from markup to an interactive document. And aside from the HTML, the web browsers also can generally display any kind of this content that can be part of the web page. So most browsers can display images, video, audio, and any kind of this file formats, even the XML format, the Java appliance, and the plugins files, etc. So upon these kinds of encountering a file of an unsupported type or a file that is set up to be downloaded rather than displayed, the browser prompts the user to save the file to disk. And also the wide array of these web browsers are available in nowadays, which includes the Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, then the Safari, Opera, and also the Microsoft Internet Explorer, or even the Edge, which is the latest update of that Internet Explorer. So these are the major important web browsers, examples for the web browsers. And also by March 2014, 3 browsers make 85% of the total world market, and also the Chrome, Google Chrome leads with 43.66. It is just a survey. Followed by Microsoft Internet Explorer at 22.5, and then the Firefox. So these are the commonly used kind of web browsers in the computers as well as in the mobile devices. So that's regarding the web browser. So a web browser helps to access the websites, and we can prefer any kind of the web browsers according to our specifications. So basically commonly the Google Chrome and the Microsoft Internet Explorer, and also the Mozilla Firefox. So these are the commonly used kind of web browsers. They are the examples for the web browsers. So that's regarding the web browsers. Now we have the fourth topic of this internet services, which is the web search engine. So web search engine is a kind of technique or a form which is designed to search for information on the World Wide Web. So for the best example for the search engine is the Google itself. So the use or the definition for the web search engine is that it is designed to search for information on the World Wide Web. So we can access all these kinds of information with the help of a search engine, and the search results are usually present in a list of results and are commonly called hits, and the information may consist of web pages, images, information and other types of files. Some search engines also mine data available in database or open directories. So basically we have three major important aspects regarding a web search engine. So the use of the web search engine is that to search for information, to search for websites. So this is the major intention of this web search engine. So a search engine operates in the three major kinds of forms. The first one is the web crawling, second one is the indexing, and third one is the searching. So web crawling, then indexing and searching. So these are the three major steps regarding a web search engine, the working of this web search engine. And a web search engine works by storing the information about many web pages which they retrieve from the HTML itself. And these the pages are retrieved by a web crawler or commonly known by the name a spider, an automated web browser which follows every link on the site. So with the help of this web crawler or this kind of search, we can access different types of websites regarding a common topic. If you search a common topic in the web search engine, we get the different forms of information with the help of this web search engine, and we can retrieve from the HTML itself. So this is the first step regarding the web search engine. The second step is that the indexing. So the indexing means the contents of each page are then analyzed to determine how it should be indexed. So there is a kind of order in order to get these kinds of websites. For example, if we search anything in the web search engine, we get a wide list of this information, especially the forms of websites first. So it is basically based on the rating. So rating and also the users that they follow these kinds of websites. So this is the basic fundamental of this indexing regarding the search engine. And also the third point regarding the search engine is that searching itself. So with the help of this web crawling, then indexing, the search engine itself search for the best result, the good result for that topic, and it find out the better result, and we can access that link. So these are the major important facts regarding the web search engine. And also the purpose of an index, which is the second step, is to allow the information to be found as quickly as possible, and some search engines such as Google store all these kinds of part of a source page referred to as a cache, as well as the information about the web pages, whereas others such as the store every word of every page they find. So there is a change in different types of web search engines, but regarding the Google, they just find out all these kinds of information, they just search all these kinds of information, and then they just store all these kinds of information, some hints, some important points regarding these websites, and the information regarding these kinds of any kind of this forms of these websites into a common platform which is referred to as a cache. So that's regarding the web search engine, the important aspect regarding the web search engine. And then we have to focus on the topic how to search via the web search engine, how we can access this data with the help of this web search engine. So regarding how to search with the help of a search engine is that when a user enters a query into a search engine, typically by using keywords, the engine just examines its index and provides a listing of best matching web pages, according to its criteria, usually with a short summary containing the document's title and sometimes parts of the test. And the index is built from the information stored with the form of this data and the method by which the information is indexed. Most search engines support the use of the Boolean operators and, or, and not, and also further specify the search query. So we can use the keywords regarding a search engine. We must follow these kinds of keywords, the short forms of any kind of these words in order to access the web pages. So basically the and, or, not. So these are the kinds of Boolean operators, the terms like related to the Boolean operators. So we can also use these kinds of terms in order to search via a search engine. And then the Boolean operators are for literal searches that allow the user to refine and extend the terms of the search. The engine looks for the words or phrases exactly as entered, and some search engine provides an advanced feature called proximity search that allows the users to define the distance between the keywords. So this is regarding how to search with the help of a search engine. So we just type the word, the keyword, the important topic of that content in the search engine, and the search engine just compiles all these kinds of information and it gives the best suitable matching these kinds of websites in a very systematic order, which means the most popular will be at the top of that search, and we can access all these kinds of websites according to our specifications. So this is regarding the web search engine, how it works. Then the usefulness of a search engine depends upon the relevance of the results set it gives back. And also, while there may be millions of web pages that include a particular word or phrase, some pages may be more relevant, popular or authoritative than others, and most search engines employ the methods to rank the results to provide the best results first, and also how a search engine decides which pages are the best matches and what order the results must be shown in varies widely from the one engine to another. So basically while we searching through with the help of the search engine, we get the best result at the top of the search. So that's regarding the search engine, and some kinds of we have some examples for the search engine, which includes Google, Yahoo, Bing, Ask, AOL Search, MSN, Alta Vista, Lycos, and also the Netscape Earth. So Netscape Search. So these are the different types of search engines that are available, in which we just commonly use these kinds of Google or Yahoo in order to access all these kinds of information. So the term Googled also related to the search engine, which is typically searching anything with the help of a Google search engine. So that's regarding the fourth important topic under the internet services. So we just completed the first topic, which is the HTML, and then we go through the World Wide Web, then we discussed about the web browsers, and finally we discussed about the web search engine. And now we have to focus on only one more topic, which is the electronic mail. So the electronic mail means the email itself, and we can define the email as it is the one of the most commonly used services on the internet, allowing the people to send messages to one or more recipients. And also email was invented by Ray Tomlinson in 1972. So this is regarding just an introduction definition and the regarding some basic facts regarding the electronic mail, which is the email. So the email was invented by Ray Tomlinson in 1972. So the best example for the email is that the Gmail itself. So we commonly use the Gmail in order to send messages, any forms of this information with the help of these Gmails. So the email, regarding the email, electronic mail, it was invented by Ray Tomlinson in 1972. And the definition for the email is that it is the one of the most commonly used services on the internet, allowing the people to send messages to one or more recipients. And it has changed the way we communicate. Millions of people all over the world use this method to communication for the everyday purpose. and the number keeps growing and growing, and communicating by email is cheap and fast compared to the conventional mail, which is the now called as the snail mail. So email is flexible in that it does not depend very much upon the type of computer or program you use. We can send and receive the text document files, text files, image files, and even audio files with the help of these emails. In fact, the recipient does not have to present when the message is sent to them. They can read incoming mail and reply if necessary at their own time. And the email systems are based on a store and forward model in which the email server computer system accept, forward, deliver, and store the messages on behalf of users who only need to connect to the email infrastructure. So this is regarding the email and email server and how it works. So basically the email is used to send messages, files, and even to communicate with the other people with the help of this email, and we should need an email account in order to access these kinds of services. So an email message consists of two major components, the message header and the message body, and which is the email's content. So basically we have two major aspects regarding an email. So the first one is the message header and then the message body or the message content. Then the message header contains control information including minimally an originator's email address and one or more recipient addresses, and usually additional information is added such as a subject header field. Originally a text-only communication medium, email was extended to carry the multimedia content attachments. So we can attach any kind of this attachment up to a certain limit via email to we can send to any other person. So basically the email, the content of the structure of the email is divided into two major categories. So the first one is the header of the email, second one is the content of the email. Then we have the advantage of the email. So the email is inexpensive. It is very important aspect regarding email. We can send and receive the emails without any forms of this expense, without any kind of forms of this cost, in which it is a free software. We can access this service. And the second point is regarding email is fast. We can send any forms of these messages, any forms of this the media files with the help of these emails in a very fast manner. So that's regarding second point. The third one is regarding the email can be sent in bulk. So we can send a common message to a group of people. So that's regarding a kind of information, a kind of message to a group or any types of this broadcasting that kind of messages. So we can send a single message, a single content to many people. So it is also an advantage of this email. Then the fourth point is regarding the transmission is secure and reliable. So we can depend upon the email, the servers, and the security. So it is basically, to a certain extent, it is a kind of secure messaging or the mailing app in order to send or receive the messages. Then the email is easy to filter. So we can filter all these kind of messages, different types of emails to a common filter. For example, if you can filter like the primary messages, primary mails. Second one is regarding the social mail, and third one is the promotion mail. So these are the major divisions of the email in which we can filter according to our need of different types of these messages, the different types of the received emails. Then the sixth point is regarding that the automation. So we can automatically set a scheduled time in order to send the email. So there is a kind of setting in which we can activate that in order to send a scheduled email to any person. Then the seventh point regarding the advantage of email is that email storage and management. So we can store a specific amount of data. For example, in the Google, they provide in the service of the Gmail, we can upload up to 15 GB to the Google Drive, so which means that we can store as much of information with the help of this email, and it is a kind of very useful for the any kind of users. They can access this information wherever they go, so there is no need to carry all these kinds of storage devices. It can be used via this cloud storage service. So that's regarding the email storage and management. And the 8th point regarding the advantage of this email is that notification of new arrivals. So we get new notification while we get new emails while we using the these kinds of email application, different forms of the email applications. So it is also very important. Then the 9th point regarding the advantage of this email is that it can be formal as well as informal. So the email can be used for the both for the formal use and both for the informal use, which means that we can send the formal messages via email, and also even we can send informal messages with the help of these email services. Then the 10th point regarding the advantage of this email is that email is accessible from anywhere. So it is also a very important feature in which we can access the email by logging to the email account, and we can access all the file which is sent or received through the email service. So basically it is also related to the email storage and management topic. And the 11th point regarding the advantage of this email is that built-in spell checking. So there is a kind of feature that most of these email services I provide. There is a built-in spell checking, so we can avoid the grammatical mistakes, any kind of this vulnerable kind of the things by checking these kinds of by adding these kinds of features, which is the built-in spell checking. And the 12th point regarding the advantage of this email is that email attachment. So we can attach the documents with the help of this email. So if we need to send a kind of document to a person, so with the message at the end of this message, we can have the option to add the attachment. So we can also send the documents with the help of these emails. Then the second last point regarding the email is that the delivery is almost guaranteed. So there is a kind of security and guarantee in which the email should be received within a kind of limited time. So it is also a kind of security and guarantee for the emails. The last point is the request return receipt. So we can get a return receipt if we enable that feature. So this is also a kind of feature which is given by the email. So these are the major advantages of email. Then we have different topics like the email addresses, how to use the email, how email works, then the web mail, and also the different forms of the email fields, and what we have to send and the netiquette. So these are the different topics regarding the email. So we will discuss this topic in the next class. So in this class we discussed about the first topic was regarding the World Wide Web, the second topic was regarding the web browsers, third one was regarding the search engine, and fourth topic was regarding the first part of this email, electronic mail, basically the introduction for the electronic mail and also the advantages of this email. So that's for today. Thank you. Happy learning.